I want to share with you an experience that I had, an unbelievable experience I had. So this video is all about the part that I played in the 2010 Constitution, or the part that I'm supposed to have played in the 2010 Constitution. I think if we have to tell the truth, the proper word is the part I'm supposed to have played in the 2010 Constitution, because I didn't play any part. But until 5 minutes ago, I'm the only one who knows that I did play that part, of course, plus the Almighty. This one is what I would tell young people, that it is good to cultivate a character where you are trusted. It is good to cultivate a character where you are reliable, where you are a reliable person. But if it is the opposite, you may find that you cultivate a character where people don't trust you, where anything happening, anything being done, people just say, oh, so you are on that side, then that side is wrong. But we have some people, and I thank God for that, that in many cases, when things are being discussed, and the people see the side that I am on, they then say that if he is on that side, then that side is the right one. I thank God for that, and I thank Kenyans for that, for trusting me so much that I just need to say it is this and this, and people believe it. It is a great honor. It is a greater honor than all the food, all the money, or all the food anybody can have. Of course, I also want to thank Kenyans that hapo kwa till number mnaangalia vizuri sana. So I am grateful to you, that and that. And the hardest part of it, let me tell you, you can cultivate a positive character. Very hard. But let me tell you, maintaining respect, maintaining high standard of things is the hardest part. Reaching there is very hard, but as compared to maintaining that thing, it is very bad. You can see even some young people in the Gen Z, 6 months has not yet gone. They are going around using the fame that they received to start making money. I'll not go there. So I was saying that because of the high level of trustability, there are occasions when, and many occasions when, people, when they are unable to decide something, they say, okay, can you break the tie? So let's go to the story. It was in 2010, and I was within Kenyatta Market. I received a phone call from my contact in KTN. I received a phone call from my contact in KTN, and then you see, this is a problem with mobile phones. If it is landline, it is different, but mobile phone, I can be talking, be talking to you, and I can tell you I'm anywhere. For example, there is even another time, my people call him cousin, but me, I call him my brother by another mother, brother Henry Kareithi. There's a time I wanted to talk to him, and when I rang him, he told me he's in Singapore. His mother follows my mother. There's a time I called him and he told me, kata hiyo simu, because he was in Singapore And if I talk to him, it will be very expensive to me. So what I was trying to say is that with a mobile phone, you can be anywhere. Landline, you just call a certain number, you know that is a Mombasa line, or you know that is a Kisumu line. So this fellow, but mobile you can't. So this fellow rang me, and he told me if I have time, or if I was in a place where there are people, I could kindly, he's going to ring me in the next few minutes so that we talk. If I was in a place where people were, I should maybe move to a more private place. So I said, okay, I looked for a place and sat down. And then he told me that we were having a problem. And the problem that we were having at that time, if you can remember, we were having this pull and push about the constitution. At that point in time, the president of the Republic of Kenya was Emilio Mwai wa Kibaki. The vice president of Kenya was Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And the prime minister of Kenya was Agwambo. Now, there was this problem about the constitution, and my contact, whose name I'll not disclose, was telling me that they have done their research and found that both Kibaki and Raila do listen to me, do listen to my advice, and do follow whatever I say with great respect. Up to this time, I do not know whether they used to listen to me. I do not know whether they used to respect me, lakini hata wewe ukisifiwa, saa hii ikisemekana wewe ni rafiki ya King Charles, utakataa? I'll tell you at the end of this story about when I was young. I was mistaken in a military installation, and the people, I'll say that after I finish this story. So when people mistake you, and even when you're walking around and you resemble Ruto, and people say you are Ruto's cousin, it will not be bad if you use that position maybe to earn money or whatever. But if it is just for the sake of feeling high, euphoric, just say yes, huyo ni kazini yangu. Ni kazini ya yule kazini mwingine ambaye ni kazini yangu. Luhyas understand that. Other tribes will not understand. So there is nothing wrong with the gaining accolades for something that you have not done, so long as you don't use that for personal enrichment. So long as you don't use that for personal enrichment, because some people would even go there and say, sunipatie 1M so that I chase your case to Ruto. So if you don't use it for criminal or even financial advantage, then I don't think there is any problem. So this gentleman told me that we know at KTN News, that time it was not KTN News. At KTN, we know that both the two principals, that is Emilio Mwai Kibaki and Raila, do listen and follow you. So you say something, they listen. So I asked him, and what do you want me to say? He told me, can you save our country? I said, who else? Imagine saving your country. Who else would not want that? And said, okay, we want to interview you, and we want you to look for words of wisdom and whatever that can make these two gentlemen come together, agree on a way forward, so that we clear this thing of the constitution once and for all. And he asked me, are you ready to do that? I said, of course. Placing there my voice to tell, to save our country or anything, that is a patriotic duty. And I'd be very much pleased to do that. And you see, it is even better that they approached me, because if I would have approached them, it is good, but I think it is, if you compare the two, where you approach them and say, I have a suggestion, and on the other hand, they come to you and they say they have a suggestion. To me, both are important, both are good, but the one where they have sat down and decided that you are the person to save the country is better than if the initiative is yours. So he told me, are you ready to, we are not going, okay. Let me say that in almost all cases, all media houses, there is no media house up to today which has ever told me, which have told me what to say or whatever. No, no, no. You can see that in this particular case, they just told me that we want you to say something positive that can save the country, something positive that can make the country move forward. Just that. But the wordings and anything, it was up for me to look for the wordings. So he asked me, are you ready to do that? I said, yes, I'm ready. And I think we were talking at around 3 p.m. It was around 3 p.m. So he asked me, he even wanted to interview me that same evening in 3 to 4 hours' time. But I told him, no, it is not possible for you to interview me in the next 3 or 4 hours. He asked me why. I said, I'm in Webuye, but I was at Kenyatta Market, next to Bagathi District Hospital, and next to the primary school that I did my CPE. Now, 844 mistake CP. When I say CP, they mistake that I've forgotten KCP. No, sisi tulikuwa nafanya CPE. What your standard 7? So I was at Kenyatta Market, but I was cheating him that I was in Webuye. So he said, how do you come? I said, I'll just dash home, change. I'm coming to Nairobi with the night, what do you call it? Night bus. I'll arrive in Nairobi around 4 to 5 a.m. Then he told me, okay, if that is the case, then we are going to interview around 10 a.m. Said, okay. Then I told him, of course, there are some things you don't talk. Then he calculated something for my fare. And he told me that he had calculated the fare from Webuye to Nairobi. Then he calculated 2 nights in Nairobi. That is assuming I come, then sleep somewhere, then interviewed, then in the evening sleep somewhere, then the following day go back. But that time, I was staying in Riruta Satellite on a road called Nyakenywa Road. So I just went to my house, slept. The following day at 5 a.m., went to town. Now I was asked when I approached them, now when I went to their offices at I&M building, I went to their offices at I&M building. Then I was allocated 2 people. I was allocated Mwashirima Kapombe. Mwashirima Kapombe is Mungatana's wife, and she's a deputy state house spokesperson. Yeah. She was the one to interview me, and the cameraman was Agri Mutali. So we had a small conference there, also being told pole for safari ya usiku. I'm supposed to have traveled, is it 450? No, 300 kilometers. When in the real sense that I had only traveled 13 kilometers. So they told me, sorry for your travel. We completed the talk. Then they told me, what are you going to tell us? I told them what I was going to tell them. That is after they had told me what they expected from me. So in your own words, what would you do? Whatever, whatever. We did that, and then we went somewhere where they were now to interview me. And then I was asked. There is. I'm looking for the word. It's inapotea kidogo. The country can't move to the left. Country can't move to the right. You find that half the country is behind Raila, going this direction, and half of the country is moving the other. And in your opinion, what do you think? In your opinion, what do you think would uh, would make us move forward so that we do away with the constitution, because we have a lot of things to do. And then I told them that the truth of the matter is that the problem is with these two gentlemen. The problem is with these two gentlemen. When you see uh, people, when you see people like Otieno Kajwang saying this thing, and I even mentioned some people who are close to Kibaki. He said, when you hear Otieno Kajwang talking, it is Raila who is talking. And when you hear people like, I can't remember that person talking, that is Kibaki saying. So the best thing they can do is, if these two gentlemen, Kibaki and Raila, met, if Kibaki and Raila met and they plotted a way forward, that thing would be cleared within. If you check that video with KTN, if you check that video, if you go to KTN and ask them to show you the video where I'm interviewed by Mashirima Kapombe, you'll find that I said that if Kibaki and Raila were to meet and agree, that thing would not take even 2 days before we go through the quagmire. Yeah, that is the word I was looking the other time. Quagmire. Now I said if the two meet and whatever, we'll go through the quagmire. So Mashirima Kapombe asked me, what recommendation would you give? I said I would recommend that the two gentlemen meet as soon as possible. And then the second time she interviewed me twice. There's I don't remember which one came first, but I think the English one is the one which came first, because I was so shocked. You see, I used to think, you see, I'd never seen Mashirima Kapombe talk in English. She was, she used to be a Swahili announcer. So when she talked in English, I was so shocked because it was so clear, so pure. So if you look at the way I was answering her in English, it was nilikuwa na maka. I nearly asked her, so you also know English? And she had a very, very good English, or she has a very, very good English. I think English was the first one where she interviewed me. After interviewing me in English, then she interviewed me in Kiswahili for the Swahili service. And then with them, we talked, and I told them I'm going back to my room to catch some sleep, and then tomorrow morning I'm going back to Webuye. But I just went straight to my house in Riruta Satellite. Uh, the, the the interview was carried in KTN that same night in both 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. news. My my interview was there. Then the funny thing, I want to put it to you, and that is how I started. That it is, my statement was, first of all, these are people who trust that I have influence. Maybe I have. Maybe I have. The day I'll meet, okay, I'll never meet Kibaki. The day I'll meet Raila, maybe I'll ask him. But you see, I talked it on the first, and it was in the news of that evening. Then the following day, Uh, the parliament carried its session up to midnight, and within a matter of hours, the constitution was passed at the parliamentary level. If you remember very well, there are so many people who had interjected. You see, the constitution, like any other law, has verses or lines or whatever you can call them. I know Christians will be annoyed when I use the word verse, sections and whatever. So you find that you go to Article 1, somebody from this side has placed a covert on it, and then 2, 3, 4, that way, that way. So it reached that day where the parliament went up to nearly reaching midnight. And when the parliament was going on, all MPs who had placed blocks, all those who had said that I have an objection here, I have an objection, each one would be given a chance by the speaker to speak, and they'd say, Mr. Speaker, sir, judging from the mood of the House and judging from the mood of the country, I want to withdraw the amendment that I had placed. So it went on that way, that way, that way, until 11 p.m. Until 11 p.m., where all objections, all interjections were cancelled. And then the speaker said that since nobody is opposing this or even changing any section of this, then the constitution, which we later came to call it 2010 constitution, has been passed as it is. Then I stayed a few days. I got a phone call from my contact in KTN. He said, si unaona, we knew from the newsroom, we knew that you usually influence both the principles. Now you see you have come, and thank you for saving the country. Well, today, I didn't save it. It was just coincidental. It was just coincidental. And even today, you find that, especially these days when I have the privilege of YouTube, you find that I now can say something and then it later happens. Like I just said that, is it 2 months ago? I said 2 months ago, where I said that Kasamuel is not Tomboya and he will never be a Tomboya. And if you look at the comments at the way people are doing it, some comments, very few comments were so much personal and whatever that I had to delete. But I hope I regretted deleting them, because I would have turned to those people and say, look at what I talked about Samuel McRoy, and look at what things are happening. I also believe huyu Morara. Anyway, those things I speak only from, I'm holistic. There is looking at things the way they are, and also there is that gut. There is a certain feeling that you just feel that things are going this way, and you express it to people. But you see in Kenya, and I like Ikonini, they invited this KTN fellow, and the KTN fellow said in Kenya, Ken Mijungu. Mijungu told the Ikonini kwamba in Kenya, you say something when people do not agree with, they say you have been paid, you have been whatever. And when you hear you have been paid, and you see, this thing started during Moi's time, because during Moi's time, if you talk something that was not in line, that is where the story started. But in Moi's time, it used to be different from this one. It used to be said that millions and millions have been poured in by foreign masters. Yeah, but nowadays, you say something, somebody does not agree with you, say you have been paid. So that is how I gained fame for something that was, I can tell you, maybe as a Christian, we believe that on Judgment Day, all secrets, hidden and whatever, will be laid open. I want to be there to hear before being asked what did he do to his brother Ouko. Anyway, I know on Judgment Day a lot of things will be said, and I'm telling you that on Judgment Day, people, you will all know that some of these things that Huatenge is associated with, those things I just calculate, I observe, I do what. Hmm? Some even are coincidental. Some are, you see, if you are an expert in a certain field, because I'm an intelligence officer, I'm an NIS fellow, you just look at things and say, hii ikienda hivi na hivi, mwisho wake ni hivi. That is how it is. Lastly, I want to talk about when I was a young person. I said, when I started this thing, I said that when there's a time when I was a young person, I was mistaken to be related to a senior person, and I used to enjoy that. But I would tell you that when people associate you with the prominent people or something like that, it is good, and it is good also to take that. But don't take it as a way of either enriching yourself monetary wise, or you use that one to harass other people. Unajua mi ni mtoto wa Kibaki or something like that, if you use it wrongly. But if you go around saying, oh, si mnaona, in a jocular manner, there's nothing wrong. When I was in my Form 1 to Form 4, I had a few relatives in Langata Barracks, around 6 relatives, and I used to visit them. And I don't know whether that system is still there, but whenever you visit a military camp, you stand for hours at the gate. They have to look for the person whom you are looking you are visiting. After getting that person, then he comes and signs you in. But then there was somebody who was the commanding officer was Lieutenant Colonel Lenges of the 7th Battalion. That was 1977. Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Lenges. Lenges later became the army commander, where he was a lieutenant general. So Lieutenant Colonel Lenges was the command, and the deputy was Aluhia Major, forgotten his name, Aluhia Major. But for some reasons, people used to believe that I looked like the deputy commanding officer. So whenever I would come, instead of giving names of any of the 6 people that come from my village, I would say that I'm coming to see the deputy, and I used to enjoy that and so on. So you find that apart from and when I entered the military camp, Langata Barracks, I would just go and visit those 6 people. So this is what I'm saying, that don't. This is what I'm saying, that do not use that thing badly. You do not use that thing badly for financial or harassing people. I used just to go there, say, hey, kijana, jana nilikuona ukiongea na OC. OC, I say, yeah, mlikuwa mnaongea vitu gani? Tulikuwa tunaongea vitu ya nyumbani. But I never knew OC personally, and that is the first. And this is the second time when I've been associated with people I do not know and I would not connect with. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I had for today. Thank you.